And April, this evening, you can see the Tot Stop shop is boarded up with some kind of metal material. Police went ahead and added this mobile Skycop unit after dozens showed up here at the store on Monday. You can see where the bullets went flying, lodging in the side of this building. I'm counting at least 7 bullet holes. And over here in the parking lot, shattered glass from when the bullets struck that parked car. That girl says she was just walking to the bus stop this morning in Fraser when this guy pulled up right beside her. She says even when she crossed the street to try and get away from him, he only did a U-turn and came back. All right, now the good news. The river's not supposed to crest at Osceola until about Thursday, and even when it does, it still has that major levee to contend with. A cemetery employee denies moving any graves.
I talked to her yesterday.
So is she just imagining things? You know, it's not often you get a look at the inner workings of buildings, but here it is, the roadway in, all laid out as a big jumbled mess. High winds tore through, ripped out this roof. I'm told at least 7 rooms were damaged. And if you come over here and take a look at this field, you can see where all of that debris ended up. A big portion of the roof over here. We're seeing pieces of wood scattered everywhere. And perhaps the only thing worse, the parts of town where the water hasn't receded. Take this home, for example, now completely cut off from the surrounding homes by inches of this stuff.
They're speaking with WREG's Luke Jones.
A fireplace, a blanket, but the little guy who truly made this a happy place.
He meant a lot.
No one knows where he is.
My mom made him that sweater.
7-month-old Cash, a black and white French bulldog, snatched from his home on Highway 193 Friday when thieves kicked in the door and ransacked the place.
Just stuff scattered, and my closet was just like a tornado went through it.
Jessica King was at the hospital with her sick mother at the time. Thieves taking a gun, electronics, even jewelry, but no jewel shined as brightly as Cash.
You can take my things. I could care less about TVs and cameras and things, but it's just a whole nother thing when you take an animal from somebody.
King's brother-in-law, Kevin, has his own ideas about who would do such a thing.
Obviously someone that doesn't have any sympathy or care about anyone but theirself.
But he's hoping a $2,000 reward might appeal to something within them.
Hopefully the people that broke in, they'll have a change of heart and bring it back to us or give it to someone to give to us. You know, we're offering a reward. At this point, we don't even care. We just want the dog back.
The Kings have taken their plea to social media. This post alone shared more than 8,000 times. They're also helping spread the word the old-fashioned way, posting these missing posters at signs and corners all across the county.
It does give me hope that somebody might see something.
Hope this kennel won't be empty much longer, and hope this spot by the fire will be a happy place once again. In Fayette County, Luke Jones, WREG News Channel 3. And Greg, that girl says she was just walking to the bus stop this morning in Fraser when this guy pulled up right beside her. She says even when she crossed the street to try and get away from him, he only did a U-turn and came back. Tonight, she wants everyone to be on the lookout for an older model green Mercury Villager with drive-out tags. It takes just minutes for 13-year-old Jasmine McGee to get from her house to the bus stop. And it took just seconds for that trip to take a scary turn this morning.
It came out of nowhere, him saying something to me, and it all happened so fast.
Around 7:30, a strange man driving a green van like this one pulled up right beside her as she was walking on Rangeline near North Meade.
He said, "Hey, baby, where you going?" And that's when I started looking around. I was looking around and see, was he talking to me?
He was, and when she crossed the street to get away from him, he followed, apparently not willing to take no for an answer.
He turned to somebody's house and so he can get on this side of the street where I was at.
She crossed the street again, and finally the strange guy left Jasmine alone.
He drove off on this side slowly saying, "I know you heard me."
Now Jasmine's mom says the guy in the van had better hear her.
I advised him, do not approach my daughter again.
Just in case, she says she notified police and her daughter's school immediately, and she'll be walking Jasmine to the bus stop herself from now on.
A sick pervert, because you riding around 7 o'clock in the morning, bothering little kids trying to go to school. You real sick.
A real sick guy, but thankfully, no sick ending.
It could have been worse for me. I don't think that, I'm lucky that I got away.
And now we did speak to police here. They tell us they have made no arrests in this case. We also reached out to Shelby County Schools, but have not heard back. Reporting live, Luke Jones, WREG News Channel 3.
This is what they did to my car.
Glass strewn everywhere, a back window missing, a front one bludgeoned beyond recognition. And Keisha Kirby says it's all the work of Blytheville police officers.
Getting a flashlight or something and banging on the window.
Kirby says it started Sunday night around 8 when she saw an officer in front of her at an intersection.
He wasn't going, so I blew the horn.
She says he followed her back to her sister's house around the corner.
He was like, come here, come here. I said, why did you stop me?
Turns out for having her high beams on, but things only escalated from there.
I was like, can I go sit on the porch? It's raining. I said, I don't want to get back in the car. He said, no, go to the car.
But Kirby claims when she turned to go, the officer stopped her. That officer writing in a police report, it's because he didn't want her picking up the phone and calling others to the scene.
He grabbed my arm, and when he grabbed my arm, I got loose and got in my car and shut my door and locked it because I don't have time for that.
By her own admission, Kirby ignored commands to get out of the car. The officer called for backup, and then the window smashing.
I'm screaming, telling him, would y'all stop hitting my window? Stop hitting my window.
Police say they pepper sprayed Kirby and placed her under arrest, charging her with refusal to submit to arrest, obstructing governmental operations, and failure to dim headlights.
While I was sitting there, I told him, I'm gonna sue y'all. I am gonna sue you, and I mean it.
Police quote her as saying, "Thank you, Jesus. I finally have a lawsuit." She also claims an officer threw her phone in water, but there's no mention of that in the police report, and police didn't return our request for comment.
This will not be over. They will not get away with this. All three of them, they need to be on leave without pay.
Until then, Kirby's on leave from her daily routine. A woman without a car, and in her mind, a woman without justice. In Blytheville, Luke Jones, WREG News Channel 3.